What if I told you that with Crystal Beasts, I could make this unbreakable field? With a Promethean Princess Interruption off a Fire Monster, an IP into SP line, a Banish with a Bow, a Q, a Lightlock with Protos, a Bounce to the Rainbow Bridge of the Heart being triggered by Snake Eye Temple and Sapphire Pegasus, as well as an Arms of Genix Return 0, which will negate a monster of each attribute our opponent controls, which I will have all of except for water. This is just a fraction of the power of Crystal Beasts, one of my favorite decks of all time, and something I currently have a lot of fun playing with. It might unironically be the single best way of playing Snake Eyes right now as well, so if you're looking for something interesting to try, this is the deck to play. Now if you're curious about the deck list and about some combos, stay tuned because we'll get to that in a second. Alright, now before we get into the deck profile and then into the combos, if you guys enjoy this type of content where I look at Crystal Beasts or any other sort of different interesting decks and try and innovate them, then let me know. Like, subscribe, as well as comment down below, especially if you want to see me take this deck to locals. If you get enough support on the channel, that is something I will go and play with. Now that said, let's get into the deck. Starting us off, we of course have good old Rainbow Dragon. We do not summon this card. You needing 7 different Crystal Beast names is impossible because there's not enough good ones. And we're not playing a lot of bricks. I'm not in the business of bricking, if you will. So, yeah, you play this as an engine requirement for the rest of your cards. This card itself is not good to draw, but it's a necessity. 3 Pegasus, one of the good Crystal Beasts. And if you are a longtime watcher of this channel, you'll already know these cards very well, but I'll explain them again. But also you'll know that for the longest time, I could not find my third one of these. Well, I found it, didn't have to buy it, so that's super cool. But anyways, so all the Crystal Beasts, it's important to know that when they're destroyed on the field, you can, if you want to, place them in Spell Trap card zone. Pegasus, on a summon, lets you place any other Crystal Beast from your deck, hand, or graveyard into the Spell Trap card zone. So it plays itself, like another copy of itself, but it's not the literal copy. This is very good because usually you're going to be placing your Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon, which you can banish from the Spell Trap card zone to special summon from the deck any Crystal Beast monster, but negate its effects, and then add a Rainbow Dragon from your deck to your hand. That last part is not optional, so you do have to play Rainbow Dragon, and that is the downside to this whole bit, but it's very good. I play 2 of this card because you sometimes need 2 for grind games, as well as if you draw 1, you want to have a second one in the deck. We play 1 other level 4 target, and that is Topaz Tiger. Now before I played this card because it was the prettiest Crystal Beast, and god, Ulti Tiger looks so nice. But yeah, you need 1 more rank 4, a level 4 for rank 4s. And I'm going for Topaz Tiger because in this case the Earth attribute matters. Also hitting SP is kind of cool. We've also got the Crystal Beast Ruby Carbuncle. This is the crazy one, which on special summons all of your Crystal Beasts in the Spell Trap card zone. It's important to note that the effects of Pegasus and Carbuncle are not once per turn. So if you can summon them multiple times in one turn, you can use them multiple times, and that will come up in this deck a fair bit. That's it for the Crystal Beast monsters, because if there's a trend you've noticed on this channel with Crystal Beast and the cards in general, it's that with all the new support, and they aren't monsters, the good cards are spells. And this deck is playable for its abundance of powerful cards in spell form. For that reason, very few monsters, and we're playing a lot of the spell cards. Next up is my favorite one, and that is Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. In my opinion, it's the best one, but as crazy as this card is, it's contentious if it's even the best. It has multiple effects. It's a continuous spell that says, once per turn, you can normal summon an additional Crystal Beast in addition to your normal summon. So extra summon is cool. And once per turn, you can destroy a Crystal Beast card in your hand or field to add a Crystal Spell or Trap from your deck to your hand, so any of your other spells. But even more than that, once per turn, during either player's turn, and including the damage step, when a Crystal Beast is placed into your Spell and Trap card zone, you can return itself and 1 card your opponent controls back to the hand. Very powerful card. Next up, we got 3 copies of Crystal Bond. So this is Rhoda plus more, because you get to place 1 Crystal Beast from your deck in Spell Trap card zone, then get to add 1 monster with a different name from your deck to your hand. Well, Crystal Beast monster. So you get to place 1 and search 1. Pluses are good. It is once per turn as well, so a newer card, not an old Crystal Beast. This one is not, though. Rainbow Bridge, which I do not know where my foils are. I will one day have this deck full max rarity, I promise, guys. And yeah, so this one on activation lets you add from deck to hand any crystal card. So you're going to be adding your Crystal Bond or one of the next cards. Next up, we got Golden Rule, and this card is arguably the best spell card of the deck. Again, I prefer the Bridge, but this card is still bonkers, and a big reason to play this deck, if at all. It counts as a crystal card, which is important, which means it's now searchable off of both Rainbow Bridge as well as our Bridge of the Heart. And then you special summon a Crystal Beast from your hand or your graveyard, and then place 2 Crystal Beasts with different names from the one you summoned into the spell trap card zone from your deck. So if the play is not incredibly obvious, you summon out Carbuncle, place whatever, and then summon 2 more. At that point, this is Premature Burial plus double Emergency Teleport in 1 card. Do I have to explain why that's good? I really hope I don't. This card is mental, and it's this and Bridge of the Heart that make this whole package worth running. Yeah, this card's so good. And then, yeah, we got 1 Awakened Crystal Ultimates. This card will sound really good. However, the fact that it has an activation requirement means it's a bit tricky. You have to activate it by revealing a Rainbow Dragon in your hand. This means you've already gotten to play a bit because you've accessed and resolved your Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon. But if you're able to do that, or you've hard drawn Rainbow Dragon, you get to do one of a couple things. You can special summon any Crystal Beast from your deck, or graveyard, or wherever, and that's pretty good, because you can summon Carbuncle. Or you get to add neck to hand a bridge card, or send a bridge card to neck to grave. So you can add this, or dump the next bridge, which is famous for tier. This card is also a crystal card, so it's important because this bridges into this, which bridges into this. And because this card has a bounce effect, whenever you guys place a spell trap card zone, and you can do so on your opponent's turn, this is also a part of our end field. So when we start yugioh and digging, it's important to have more copies that get us into our Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. And then lastly, for the Crystal Beast cards, we got the Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. So its field effect is not relevant, but you can banish it from the graveyard once per duel to add a Crystal Beast monster and a field spell from deck to your hand. And the Crystal Beast field spells aren't good, so we don't play those. However, you'll get to some good field spells later on. There are a couple different options. But then, unlike other decks, searching Crystal Beast in this deck is actually good because this just means you can search Pegasus. Anyways, yes, that's the Crystal Beast engine. It says the exact same as my YCS topping Cancun deck. The rest of the engine, or the rest of the deck, is different though, because there have been, of course, hits to Snake Eyes as well as some other engines. Next up, we're moving on to the Snake Eye portion of the deck. So, yes, this is Snake Eyes. But the reason why Snake Eyes works so well with Crystal Beast is for a couple reasons. For one, the Snake Eyes and the Crystal Beast cards both place themselves in the spell trap card zone, and you can get synergy off that. For example, give you free sends off your Snake Eye monsters, Flamebirch can summon them, Divine Temple can summon them, as well as the extra deck, you'll see even more synergies that are fresh from Supreme Darkness, as well as the rank 4 access that the Crystal Beast provide you, give you more consistency to see your Snake Eye cards. Because otherwise, with them all being limited, you don't see them very often. But yeah, these are the standard Snake Eye cards. Add, revive, or sack them both off to special from deck, and then when it's added, special summon itself and search one when it goes to grave, place in the back row zone. If you're not familiar with Snake Eyes at this point, may I recommend watching something, I don't know, I don't want to say watch something else, but I don't want to go over these Snake Eye cards again, unless they're the different Snake Eye cards, because they've been around forever. Just give them a quick read if you haven't before. They aren't insane. You, of course, play the one Flamebirch to search as well. And then this card has a huge importance in this deck, and that is Snake Eye to Valstar. It is a spellcaster, and that's important as these aren't. And then you'll see why that comes up later. One of the cards, the Supreme Darkness, does involve that. And when in the spell trap card zone, you can place any fire from your graveyard in the spell trap card zone to summon itself. This is follow-up, this is extension. It's incredibly important. And you'll understand why when we get to the extra deck. Alright, so those are the Snake Eye monsters. Now as for Snake Eye spells, obviously original Sinful Spoils has been forbidden. So what do we do now? What else do we search? Well, I'm searching something else now. Instead, I'm playing 3 Divine Temple of Snake Eye, as drawing this card is really good. Drawing it gives us both starters, extension, as well as disruption. It's good in a grind game and hand trap wars. I mean, not hand trapping war, but if they hand trap you down to nothing besides Temple, then Temple still gets you follow-up, which is important. Temple is very good. So I'd rather draw it and then search the next target off of Poplar. However, obviously you can still search this when you need to. This is a field spell that, of course, can be searched off of your Rainbow Bridge, which is incredibly important. And it just means you have more access to your Snake Eye cards. Now, you may say, well, how do you get it out of the spell trap card zone? That's what the extra deck is for, and we'll get to there soon. Next up is Dramatic Snake Eye Chase, which lets you place a Snake Eye from your deck into spell trap card zone, which is cool. Also, during the end phase, you can banish it to summon any Diabell Star in your back row. So you can summon up this, which is good because if you've already used its effect and you just replace it at the end of the turn, you get to then have a Princess Fire, which is important. This card is obviously worse than Temple, but what's important to note is obviously that if you already drew your Temple and you want to draw it, which is why I'm playing 3, then Poplar still is a good card to target. I would obviously rather have original Sinful Spoil, but beggars can't be choosers, you know? 3 Bonfires. This also searches your other package of the deck, which we'll get to in a second, but yep, good cards. 3 Engraver, Tract, and Lurie. So before I wasn't playing as many Fiends with cards in this deck, and there's a reason. This deck's extra deck could play 30 cards very easily. It's one of the most versatile, flexible, like toolbox decks of all time. It's almost incredible, and I really want you guys to try it because of how free-flowing it is and different than other combo decks. And then you'll see what I mean by you can play a million different cards. You can customize it to your own liking. But with that, your Fiendsmith engine kind of sucks. I'll show you now. The only Fiendsmith card in my extra deck is this. There's no sequence. I don't even play Caesar anymore. I'm doing something else with these cards. So it's actually kind of shit. You play these because drawing them is not the end of the world, and you can still get a bit of grind game with them, as well as they will bait out Disruption, because, I mean, beforehand, before I posted this, people will not know that I don't play Caesar. So you can thread in Caesar with it still. Ideally, Caesar would find space in this extra deck, but my god, when I tell you it's tight. It's tight. And then, yeah, I went for the more big package instead of the Sanks package like before, because some of the extra deck options require you to get the Lurie out later. And that'll make more sense when we explain that. But I know this is seeming very convoluted, but trust me, it all comes together. We have the Nemesis package, in case your Infernal Pyro Banshee that searches Pyros doesn't need to get Snake Eyes, or Bonfire doesn't need Snake Eyes. These cards are insane for various obvious reasons. You can call Light versus most decks, because I have Fiendsmith and Rizal. Dark if you know it's Malice. And then some more engine cards. 3 Fool's Burial Goods, it sends Rainbow Bridge, and that's it, but that's all you needed to do. 1-for-1 is obviously insane, because they got Snake Eye cards. Doesn't need much explanation. Or Lurie, even. Not even that bad. And then we've also got the Valence field spells. So if you aren't familiar with these cards, these are staples in Jesse, Kotton, Crystal Beast Bruise. They're some of my favorite cards in the deck. When you play one of them, the other goes into your opponent's spell or field zone. And then they both give effects to the turn player, no matter whose field they're on, as long as there's a field card in both field zones. So this one says you can special summon a monster in your back row, in your spells and traps, and bring it up to the monster zone, which is obviously very good. And then this one is the reverse, where you can target a monster your opponent controls in the same column as one of your monsters and put it in the spell and trap card zone. So there's removal and extension, as well as when you're searching this and giving it to your opponent, this gives your opponent a card. So now they can't use Charmies, well, they'll chain. More importantly, they can't use Impermanence. They also can't use Lightning Storm, they can't use Evenly Matched. So very, very powerful card. The rest is non-engine. This deck's ability to play through fields without non-engine is pretty impressive, even if it may not seem so. You don't need that much non-engine to go with, and it complements the board breaking style where you can play through things. So yeah, I got Talents and Thrust, which are like the go-to breakers. These are nuts. This deck Thrust it makes perfect sense in a deck like this, because like the Grass tier deck, when you have broken spells to search outside of just Talents, then it's just nuts. Droplet, very good card just for getting cards. Dark Ruler is one where it feels weird because you want to be able to kill your opponent and not stop their follow-up. However, this deck's end field is so powerful that even if you can't kill them, it doesn't matter. Dark Ruler's enough. And then Imperm, because they can help break through fields. It's just the one-of, because if you go first and you trap to set off Thrust, then Imperm. When you go first and you have combos, and they hand trap you, don't immediately Thrust or Imperm. Keep playing if you can, because if they start besheling you and burying you, then this card becomes insane. Obviously, if all said and done and nothing else happened and still game one, you haven't decided any better traps to set off the rest, then it's something. Which is, worth it. But okay, that is 60 cards, and it's a lot. Let me show you the extra deck. And you already may have seen this in the initial talk, but Snake Eyes Doomed Dragon. So this one is very cool. What it does is you can fusion summon it with a Snake Eyes and an Illusion, I think. Yeah, that's not how we summon it. It can also be summoned by sending 2 monsters from your spell and trap card zone to the grave. They don't have to be Snake Eyes. It could be Crystal Beasts. They can be any combination. They could be a random Link monster like Phoenix that you put in the back row off of Snake Eye to Bellstar. You can just summon it out. Now, you may think, oh, this card may have a crazy on-field effect then. No, on summon, it's like a mini Flamebird. You target a monster your opponent controls, and you can put it in the spell and trap card zone. And that's fine. But the biggest thing it does is it converts your back row, which otherwise don't do that much all the time, into bodies. And not just any body, but a fusion monster. And that matters because it can trigger Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep letting you revive. So this is how you access your Snake Eyes with Temple. If you have any other monster in your back row, so a Crystal Beast, and you place a Snake Eye Ash, and then you make Cross Sheep, and then you summon this out by sending the Ash, this can trigger to revive the Ash. But now if they Imperm this can still make a Princess to revive Snake Eye Ash. And you can see how it all comes together. Now there is one other card that is like Snake Eyes Bellstar, or not Snake Eyes Bellstar, Snake Eyes Doom Dragon, that also came out in this set, and that is Magistus Chorizo, or Chorizo, but we'll call it Chorizo. And truthfully, its effect doesn't matter. It is, however, a level 4 Dark Tuner that requires a spellcaster as well as a fusion, link, or XYZ. And like the Doom Dragon, it just needs to send off the monster cards as materials from the field. So it's like Necroquip. So you can send off the materials from your main monster zone or your back row. So this includes when you have an equipped Requiem. This includes when you have the Snake Eye of Elstar in the Spell Trap Grid zone. That's why it's increased importance. And bam! Level 4, Tuner, Fusion, Synergy there. And of course, we're layering that into our Synchro. And this is kind of the replacement for Caesar. It is a bit better, probably. It's a very, very cool card. And then Arms of the Gen X, return 0. Level 10 Synchro, that's kind of going to be the Baron replacement from now on, if you can make it. It does require a Dark Tuner, which is where Chorizo comes up very neatly. But if you can do that, then you're set. And what it does is, you can banish, when your opponent uses a monster effect, you can banish the monster from your graveyard with the same attribute as the one they used, to negate their effect and destroy it. You can only use this effect once per turn per each attribute. So if you have all 6 attributes in the grave, you can negate all 6 attributes once each. And obviously, you're making this with Engraver, with Fiendsmith cards. And that's what you're doing with the Fiendsmith package. You're doing it to this. And you're using the Requiem to make this. Is you summon out the 0, and it beats Nib. It beats Valor, it beats Ash, it beats Bestials, and you can be multiple in one turn. In some cases, it can be better than Baron. And obviously, unlike Baron, which has to reset for their turn, or it can't, the turn flips over to them, and they're back to square one. If they had an Nibiru to bait the disruption, it didn't really do much. It's banished down the light, and the light is still alive. And I'll have a plethora of monsters in my grave, because this deck churns through so much resources. Yeah, this is a cool mini package that does revolutionize the Crystal Beast deck. These are the 2 cards from Supreme Darkness that make the deck better. The rest of this is more of the same, to be honest. Actually, I lied. There is one more support card, but it's not as important as these. One of them is Banshee. Ring Foil searches Pyros, obviously, so it searches your Snake Eyes or the flag. Relinquished Anima is both a spellcaster and a link, so it's good for this. And you can make this with Lurie as well, which is how you get to a spellcaster with the Fiendsmith card sometimes. Requiem, obviously. And then you are still playing a Light Link Fiend to convert non-Fiendsmith hands into Fiendsmith hands. And then I am playing Saryuja, one of the best cards in Crystal Beast, because you draw 4. If you use 4 materials for it, then special 1 from your hand. As well as, you have to put 3 cards back you draw, but lets you sculpt your hand to whatever you want, and this is a big part of how you get towards your end fields. Very strong card, and you only use this in decks where you have an abundance of monsters, but this deck has that. Ethan Princess is insane for having fires. Now, I had to cut Zelantis and Raging Phoenix, unfortunately. I really wanted to fit them, but dude, this actually could be like 30 cards. This is supposed to be a heat up, but I left it at Sam's house, so heat up to unlock yourself on fire sometimes. It's a spellcaster as well, and it can be an extender. And then Phoenix. So this is another fire to unlock yourself with Princess. It's just a good card going second, as well as you can pop the Valence card you give them to draw a card. And then it also has a Fiend, which gets you into a Bow at Q, which is another new card from the set. This card is really cool. It's a Link 4 that requires at least 1 Fiend monster, so that's where this comes in. Or if you can negate this, or if it gets negated, this is a Fiend as well. So if this gets impermed, you can go into this, which is cool. And then what it is quick effect, you can banish it from the field and discard a card to do one of 2 things. You can either pop a card your opponent controls, which is cool, that's why it's Disruption, or you can revive any Light or Dark in your grave. And that is Extension, because what you can revive off it, if it's not already very obvious, voila. And then Soul Charge to the board again. So this is how you can develop some really, really insane board states. Yeah, and then during your standby phase, you can mulligan your hand, or you can draw cards for every like type on the field or something. It's whatever. Draw a card, a number of different monster types in your grave, and then you put that many cards back. So you get to fix your hand. Which honestly shouldn't matter because the game is just over at that point, but this card is nuts. And then IP and SP is just staple board disruption. I mean, SP is obviously good into boards as well, but yeah, 15 cards is not enough for this deck. I want Necroquip, I want Caesar, I want Desiree, I want Sequence, I want more Charmers, I want more of Snake Eyes Doom Dragons, I want Caesar. It's hard. I want Zelantis, I want Raging Phoenix, Chaos Angel, Typhon. But okay, let me show you guys a sample hand. Now, this deck, I really, more than any, encourage people to try because it's very different than people think. Now, I understand that Snake Eyes and Fiendsmith cards have a negative stigma attached to them because, well, it's the meta, it's boring, it's repetitive. But engines can transform a way a deck functions. For example, Snake Eye Fire King was not a deck that, I felt played the same as pure Snake Eyes. I enjoyed that deck, especially with Organics. It's a big difference. A lot more. So, the Snake Eye Fiendsmith Crystal Beast deck, and the Crystal Beasts are a large part of it, does not feel like those other decks, which is why I urge you to try it. It plays very differently. It's board breaker based. It's a lot more combo heavy. Its combos are very different because your extra deck is very different. It's nowhere near the same thing, so don't let that be a reason not to try it. And this deck is so incredibly like flexible and non-linear, which is, you know, buzzwords in Yu-Gi-Oh, that it's a lot of fun to just play. Like, you won't get bored of this, as well as it challenges you because it's not easy, and I make mistakes all the time with this. That's part of why I love it. I love something that gives me a challenge, a puzzle, no matter how many times I try. Like, I'm sure that there's a chance I make a mistake here when I draw my hand. I can't wait for my hand, by the way, to just be like 0 playable cards. It'll be like 3 Dark Rulers after all the shuffling. And I mean, like, that can happen, but we'll just redraw, because obviously I'm trying to show you what a hand actually does. I'm going to try to play this upside down, because right now my setup for filming live decks is not the best. But yeah, so I'll film upside down, and if my zone placement looks wonky, that's why. Just bear with me. I think that's enough shuffling. Let's look at the 5 cards. Flamebird's first card is Troll. Golden Rule, Bridge of the Hearts, Rainbow Dragon is so bad, and Rainbow Bridge. Alright, now I'm going to level with you. This hand's not great going first because you're going to lose to hand traps. You only have 1 engine card if they stop your Crystal Bond. And because you drew both these, it does look awkward. As well as you can't use Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon because of this. But we're going to assume there's no hand traps for this hand, because you can still do a shit ton if there are no hand traps. But obviously understand that, yeah, this hand is not good. So if you're going to get a hand trap, it's going to suck. Alright, so first off, Rainbow Bridge obviously is our only playable card. And we're going to add Crystal Bond to connect the hand because we're going to need some monsters. I'm going to activate Crystal Bond. So you place 1 and you add 1. So we're adding Pegasus, obviously. Is it obvious, or do I add Carbuncle? It might be add Carbuncle, to be honest. Is it too obvious, though? Am I playing to Imperm? Is what I don't like about it. No, it's fine, because... Okay, so I got to play through Imperm. It's, okay, so play that, and add Carbuncle. So, I'm going to activate Golden Rule. So it'll summon this out. And then place from deck 2 more. And I'm probably just going for Pegasuses, because I can make, you know, fusions with these in the back row. And now I'm going effects to special summon. And if it gets impermed, what I do is I go effects, destroy this. And because I already have the Rainbow Dragon, I can just get the Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates to revive it from grave and try again. I'm going to act like I don't get hand trapped, so I'm going to hold this in hand to save this. And just play this out. But yeah. So from this position, these all summon themselves out. Okay. From here, these effects activate. And I'm just going to fill my back row up. Now, obviously, this is going to take up all of my Crystal Beasts, but that's okay. 1, 2, and where's the Tiger? This is going to give me no targets in deck for this. However, you can always shuffle things back with Nemesis Flag if things get banished. But like with the amount of bodies I have here, I'm not worried about this resolving, to be honest, as nice and as free as it may be. Okay, from here, we're going to overlay for Banshee. Here we go. And I'm going to go effect to special summon, or to special add from deck to hand. So we add Poplar, and effect special Poplar. Effect to add, Temple. So I still have the Soul Charge play available, where I can pop and then do that. Do I want to make stuff now or after? Yeah, so I'm going to Temple here. Play Snake Eye Ash. There we go. Let's link these away now. I'll leave this up because it can turn into Spellcaster, which is important. Into your Closed Moon. Now I'm going to link this off for Requiem. So my back row is actually a little clogged right now. So maybe almost I was supposed to leave one of the Pegasus in deck. Only put two Pegasus and 1 Tiger. I'd only have 2 monsters here, but then one of these would be Pegasus, which would give me better follow-up, to be honest. So, or better, my next play would be better. Because ideally you'd be able to equip this. Actually, no, I have space, because this is engraved now. This is fine. Effects. Get out Engraver. Equip. I'm going to link this off for Anima. And then I can fuse these away for Chorizo. And with the chorizo, I can synchro. And voila, this is set up now. Now what do I have in my extra deck right now? I have a light, I have a dark, I have fire, I have wind. So I'm just missing earth, which is the Topaz Tiger. But I mean, there's no hand trap earth besides Bell, and I'm not really worried about Bell at this point. You can stop Bestial, Ash, and Nibiru, which are the 3 important ones. This doesn't matter. I mean, Mourner, I guess. From this point here, Engraver effect. Yeah, so you have 2 uses of Engraver. You can use it to get a Fiend in play for the Kyuubi later. Or you can use Phoenix for Kyuubi. But I'm going to use this here so I can make Cross Sheep. Putting back the Goddess is fine. I'm going to link these away for Cross Sheep. Now I'm going to go... Yeah, because I want to... so ideally in this deck, you go Pegasus, plays Pegasus, plays Pegasus, plays Pegasus. And I'm not doing that right now, which is kind of dumb of me. So I'm going to go... Assume they don't have Imperm at this point, to be honest, because not Imperming by now is crazy. So I'm going to play as if Imperm's not there. I'm going to link... Or going to fuse these off for Snake Eyes Doom the Dragon. Then Cross Sheep effects to revive. And I'm going to revive Pegasus. Because I want to get Pegasus into rotation. Yeah, so Pegasus into Pegasus is there. Then I can link these off. Or honestly, I have a cool play because I drew the Flame Burge. I can link these off. No, I don't want to Kyuubu at the same time I go for... So my play I was thinking here is I can go Kyuubu, discard the Flame Burge. But if I'm Kyuubu reviving, or what is it called? A Bow Q. If I'm doing that and reviving Carbuncle, then my field can be clogged. So that's not actually good. Okay, so what's the best way of going about this? Maybe what I do is I do go Kyuubu, and I just don't use the Flame Burge effect. So I can do this. I can go make the Kyuubu. Oh, I put the Phoenix in Grave first. Effect, banish yourself to the end of the turn, discard Flame Burge. Revive Carbuncle. And these will all come out. Effect again, put another Pegasus here. It's important. And then I can go either into Saryuja or Princess here. Yeah, I'm going to go Princess here. So I get the Princess in play. I'm going to revive Flame Burge. This is another way of placing Pegasus in small trap card zone, by the way. So I'd probably place it now in the small trap card zone. Yeah, I'll place Pegasus in small trap card zone. So I have 2 of them. I'm not sure if I'll need to, but I mean, I might in the future. I'm going to link these away for Phoenix. Or not Phoenix, Hida. And then I can go special summon from Grave with Flame Burge. So I can get out 1 and 2. Effect on summon. Add Oak from deck to hand. I think let's go Saryuja here. Alright, Saryuja here. And then I get to draw 4 cards and put 3 back. So let's draw 4. Bonfire, Crystal Bond, Talents, thing. Alright, so Engraver's a free body. Bonfire we're keeping for sure. This is dead. This is dead. The rest is kind of up for debate. This I need. This is insane. This is insane. Is the Engraver 1 body better than the Talents? I mean, I'll keep the Engraver for the maximum combo, but I may not even need it, to be honest. So I'll keep these. And now, special from hand with this. Sorry, you're just special from hand. Effect to revive. Effect to revive this. I'm going to sack this off. Special from deck. And let's get Snake Eyed Ballstar out. Alright, so this will get IP. So now I have this up. I have IP up. This will come back in the end phase. This will place itself. This will get a Fire on field now. And I'll place Flame Burge spell trap card zone for follow-up. And then from there, I never even used searched off this, but obviously this will still be a bounce in the end phase. I'm not getting rid of it. I'll go Bonfire. And I'm going to grab Flag. So if I didn't already have Engraver, I can do this. Oh, I didn't banish a card from my grave this entire time. Because I didn't use my thing here. Interesting. Okay, so how did I get a card banished? I mean, the easy way is to SP myself, right? to banish a card, which I'm not particularly fond of. It is a waste of bodies, but it might be correct. Okay, so definitely a bit of a mistake there for me. Wait, oh my god. I haven't normal summoned, have I? I haven't normal summoned! That's crazy! I still have 2 normal summons! Normal summon, search. That's not Protos. Let's grab Protos here. We'll summon out Protos. Banish this so it comes back. And then attributes I have excess of. So I have more Earths in the grave now. I have 3 Earths because I have this as well. So it doesn't matter. Just get rid of that. And then what do I have an excess of? Fires. You don't need 3 Pegasus. It's fine. Banished. And then because I control a Pyro, this comes back. And I'm just going to link these away for another light. Effect called Light. This does nothing in my hand. Activate this. And this is the end field. This comes back in the end phase. We have a card to discard still. This is a fire for Princess. They are locked under lights. We have 5 negates off this. IP and SP still. Bounce with this. Or this can bring this back, depending on the field space. Otherwise, just this bring this. Bounce. That's a lot. You have 1 card in extra deck. That's all you have. And your graveyard is just everything. I hope you can see. I wasn't even close to running out of monsters, right? And if you had more extra deck space, you could keep summoning Damned Dragon or Doom Dragon. You could keep going. If I had a 30-card extra deck, the entire world would be at my disposal. But this deck is so cool, and that's why I keep posting it. And I will keep posting Crystal Beast updates every time I feel like there's a notable change to this deck. And I hope you guys appreciate that. Let me know if you do, and if you are a lover of this deck as well, or even if you just like seeing the cool combos, because you have to admit that was cool. That's like one of Triff's 18 negate pendulum boards, because fuck yeah, that's just what this is. But alright guys, as I said, let me know if you want me to take this to locals, enough likes on the video, and that's something I will do. See you all then. Peace.